And we are back, and I have just been talking to Brenda. We are joined by Brenda Wong Yim, just fascinated by the stories that are coming out of Boston still. Brenda actually was a runner in the Boston Marathon. Brenda, take us back to this moment. And first of all, you went to Boston, you qualified, but then you were injured, and you were running injured that day. Yeah. So tell me about what that was like. I mean, just it was a beautiful day, Patriots Day, lots of celebration, beautiful blue skies, and then things changed.
The conditions were perfect. It was cool. It wasn't hot. Although you see I'm kind of dressed, and when I was at the White House at the start, a lot of people were taking off their warm clothing, but I didn't because of this left foot is not very healthy. So I said I'm going to keep the compression socks on, and we'll just see what happens.
So, but here you are. This is about how deep into the race, and you're still smiling, and the adrenaline is flowing, and everything's still obviously feeling pretty good about the day.
Oh, I'm feeling great because my foot is behaving. Like I was telling you, the gods and goddesses of running was at my shoulder. It said, let the foot be okay, I'm going to finish. And this is 1 mile to the finish.
And the Shaka sign's going. And then here's the actual finish line. We can see on your left here, this, tell me about this image. And this is one of the images, actually, you had sent to Homeland Security.
I sent 3 images to Homeland Security because my daughter, who's a student at Boston University, she has a camera and is taking pictures as I'm running. This is, the 26-mile mark is a little bit, we just passed the 26-mile mark. This is 0.2 miles to the finish. Right here is the finish line. Right here is the second explosion at like 50 yards before the finish line.
How soon, or when did the explosions happen here? You're about 0.2 from the finish line. How soon before that?
What's hard for me to estimate is because my start time was 40 minutes after the first start. So I'm coming at a finish at about 3 hours and 52 minutes. All I can remember is, so maybe after the finish line, I must have been about a block off because then my foot wasn't behaving and I started limping. And I was near the first, the medical tent. So maybe it's about a block up. But I heard the explosion, and I felt the explosion. It boosh, and then I went, what's that? I thought a building fell down.
Wow.
And then, so I said, the building fell down. And then I felt that second and heard the second explosion. And anyway, this is the day after.
Right. And I know your daughter was there with you, and she's still struggling with some of this as well.
She has post-traumatic stress because she heard the explosion, so the explosion is between the two of us. I crossed the finish. She's up, like maybe by the 26-mile mark. Well, she started going back up towards where we said, we'll find each other somehow. But so all she knew was the security said, there was an explosion. She said, where? The finish line. So I'm unaccounted for a long time.
I heard people were very concerned about that. So obviously, family, friends, daughter, and that's contributing to some of her challenges today.
Yeah.
Brenda, we thank you for joining us, and just amazing images of a week that America will never forget. And you got home on Wednesday safe.
Yes.
But are you returning? I mean, by the way, when you're injured and running a 350 marathon, the gods are with you. I would love to have a 350 marathon time. But are you committed to returning to Boston next year?
As a matter of fact, the day after when I left, there are police all over, and a local policeman, this major, he says, I know you ran because he sees me limping, and he gives me the knuckleball, and he says, come back. You better come back next year. So I do have a qualifying time from running this time, so I guess I better go back. To show that we're not going to be fearful of being a beautiful place at a prestigious marathon. The local people would like us to return to their home. The security there want to show that we shouldn't walk in fear. We should continue and come back to this place that everybody congregates from all over the world.
Brenda, well said, and it is a sign that we will not be in fear, and we are resilient as a country, and the runners are all bonding and saying, we will return. All 50 of my runners said the same thing. We will return if we qualify, and you're one of them. Brenda, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time, but also your stories, because they impact us as we think about what America continues to endure. All right, so when we return, Wake Up Today will continue with all the day's top headlines. Please stay.